welcome to another episode of Just Us Share Live. And today's episode, I'm absolutely loving it because I am celebrating my own consistency. So I thought that it would be great to help you with yours. Because a lot of people, one of the biggest things when you're building your personal brand, look at that, I'm being consistent with my timer. I remembered. This is good. Okay, so one of the things that when it comes to using social media for your brand, to build your reputation, to increase your credibility so that people know who you are before you walk in the room, is rocking it with content and creating content or posting content. Consistently keeps you top of mind. So I wanted to share some tips around that. In fact, I have 6 tips. I always have 6. I always have 6. I think it's because I have room for 6 in my graphics. So maybe there'd be 7 if I had more room, but I got to make it look pretty. Anyways, so in addition to that, of course, I have another scroll stopper, and it actually feeds off of last week's scroll stopper. So I don't know if you're watching last week. If not, where have you been? You need to be watching this show because I give the goods every week on how you can rock your personal brand at work, for work. And if we haven't met yet, my name is Cher Jones, and I am a corporate social media trainer, and I specialize in the personal brand for business. So I help entrepreneurs serving corporate as well as leaders and corporate professionals develop a powerful digital presence as well. Help them use social media. I teach them how to use social media at work, for work, because it's a thing. So as I was saying, we're going to be talking all about consistency tonight, and as well, my scroll stopper. That's anything that stops my thumb from scrolling. I break it down and I tell you why. And in this scroll stopper, it kind of goes off of last week's, but it's last week's on steroids. So if you really want to rock consistency in your branding game, building up your credibility, making people remember you because you show up, well, this, my friends, might be the post for you. So in addition to that, of course, Tap That App is actually kind of a continuation. So the whole theme of consistency is brewing in this episode. So if you are thinking about podcasting, last week I talked to you about Squadcast. Well, this week I have something else that will level up your podcasting game or your audio game, whether you're doing video or podcasting, doesn't matter. This app is game changing. So stay tuned for that. But of course, in the meantime, I want to know who's watching. Are you team live, team replay? Where you at? Let me know in the chat, in the comments. Also, in the meantime, you liking this idea of being consistent? Give me some thumbs up, some hearts, some love, some thoughts. Doesn't matter. I want to know, because consistency, my friends, that is the name of the game. That is what they say, and they are right. So in the meantime, as you guys are letting me know where you're at, where you from, if you're watching team live or on the replay, I'm going to jump in just to make sure, of course, that I am broadcasting, because that's always a good thing. So we'll see. Let's see so far. We'll see. It's always a scary thing, but I'm checking, because you know what? That's important. It's important to know you can actually see me. So let's take a look. Of course, things are working. Things are popping. I see comments. Wow, you guys are already in there. Guys, I appreciate you already. So let's just dive right into these comments. All right, look at all my team livers. Linda, Pam, Christopher, Chad, Whitney, Heather, Aisha, Shelly, Orlando, Christopher, the other Christopher, and Bertina and Heather, team live. You guys are rock stars, and I bet you all want to be consistent with your content. Look at this. We've got Toronto, we've got Jamaica, Mandeville. Do you know my dad's from Mandeville? Actually from Christiana, so like inside Mandeville. So that's what I'm talking about. Roots in Jamaica. Hello, Jamaica, indeed. And Naomi, I feature you tonight, so stay tuned. All right. And Lisa says hello. Juanita says hello. And Vegas is in the house. Boston's in the house. Tampa, Florida is in the house. New York is in the house. I know you're where you're at, Chad. And let's see. I love it. Deborah, Jacqueline, Team Live. Frank, Team Live. Love it. Guys, have you been struggling with consistency? Let me tell you, that has been like the bane of my existence over years. And it's about figuring it out. And listen, I'm about to celebrate. I'm about to dust my shoulder off a little bit because I have been rocking. This is either episode 44 or episode 45. I hope it's 44 because I prefer that number a lot more than 45. But anyways, either way, I have been consistent. So I've been broadcasting pretty much every week except for when I got a ticket from Michelle Obama. Guys, I had to go to that. And then a vacation. I took a vacation. Sue me. But seriously, I have been incredibly consistent, and I'm going to be sharing some of the tips that have helped me to become consistent in the game because it is incredibly important. But the question that I have for you guys right now, as we go through, do you got consistency issues? Because most people that I work with, that is what's plaguing them. In fact, a client that I just started working with as of today, we just talked about what she wants to do with her brand. One of her biggest things were consistency. And I've talked to other pros who do what I do, and they've struggled with the same thing too. So that's what today's show is all about. And what I want to know from you is, are you struggling to stay consistent posting or creating content? Because it's not all about creation, although that will level up your game even higher, but just staying in the news feed matters. Consistency matters when it comes to building thought leadership, when it comes to building recognition, when you want people to think of your name plus something else. Well, you got to plant those seeds. And the way that you plant those seeds is in the news feed with value-based content. So that's what we're going to be talking about. I got 6 tips for you, my friends, and that's what we're going to do today on Team. And look at this. I see Marcello, Team Live. Hey, Marcello. And he's consistently showing up for me too. And Florence. And yes, look at this. We are all struggling. Okay? Queen of consistency. Let me tell you, Linda, that was a queen. That was a crown that I've always wanted to wear and I've struggled with, but I have been with this format here. It has allowed me to be really consistent. And Julie says, props to you, Cher. Thank you so much, Julie. Guess what? You also slid into my scroll stopping posts as well. So stay tuned for that. And Marcello says, I'm guilty. Darn. Actually, Marcello, I think you're pretty good. I see you show up consistently in my newsfeed. There's not a week that has gone by where I haven't seen you with some sort of content. So I think you're good. So keep on rolling on that consistency train and get it even more consistent to the level that you want. But all I'm saying is you're not that bad. I've seen people where it's like they post like 3 posts and then they drop off for 3 months. Can't have that. So let's continue to keep that going. And look at my screen. This is not helping me. So I'm gonna jump back out and back into that. But in the meantime, let me jump in to start teaching you guys right now because, like, come on, I've gone through almost 10 minutes. That's no bueno. So let's go, shall we? All right, consistency issues. The first one, and this is that a tip? No, that's a tip. Get out of your head. So many times what's keeping you back from being consistent is your mind thinking that your content is not good enough. Your mind overthinking, over editing, over analyzing. You're stuck in analysis paralysis. You literally are so afraid that this may damage your brand that you keep it in your head. And I know that because I think everybody at some point goes through it. But this is in your head. Because here's what I always say to people. I always say, if this was to go in front of your ideal client, could this video, podcast, article, post, whatever it is, could it help that person? And that's what you need to ask yourself. If you don't think it's worth it, then that's a whole other story. You're not putting enough effort into your content. But if you think, and even if it's just about changing perspective, showing them something new, giving them a little tip, curating some resources that would be really helpful to them, then put it out there. You will get better over time, but you got to get out of your head. You got to know, as long as, and this brings me to my second point, if you focus on serving your audience with your content. So if you know how you want to serve your audience, what it is you want to give them, if you really hone in on that and focus on that, no matter what it is you're doing, you will create value. And that value exchange increases your credibility in your brand. It increases my ability to say, hey, this person knows what they're talking about. I want to refer them to somebody. I want to work with that person. I want to tell people about this person. I want to share it with my network because it blessed me so much. Or maybe I want to share it in the DMs, which I think is such an effective way of sharing things too these days. So I want you to just get out of your head. And when you focus your content, when you focus on showing up to help, that will already improve your momentum for actually helping. Because what happens is when you do put out content that helps people will let you know. You guys, as part of the people who show up and watch the show, whether it's your first time, whether it's your 10th time, you guys don't fail to let me know that an episode has helped you. If something blesses you, you let me know, and I absolutely appreciate that. But the same will happen for you when you focus on serving. And so that's why I show up week after week, is because I know that what I'm doing is making an impact. I know that what I'm doing is helping. Not everybody I come in contact with on LinkedIn is meant to be my clients. My clients will figure that out and they'll come to me, or I may even find them. But at the end of the day, this relationship of me giving what I know will help goes a long way. It goes a long way in credibility and conversation. And that's what you want for your brand. And that's what you want. And it is an awesome feeling when you guys let me know that something was helpful. It's an affirmation that is like, oh yes, I'm doing the right thing. And I enjoy it, right? So that's really important. All right. So the next thing, this is a major key, okay? This was absolutely a major key for me. And it was finding my right content, finding your content flex is really what I wanted to put, but I wanted to make it accessible for everybody. So yes, finding your content type. And for me, sorry guys, need to drink. For me, the live format forces me to show up. It is something where it's like I was getting caught up in editing. I was getting caught up in the post-production or the perfectionism in creating videos. And I loved creating videos. If you guys have been around in my network for a while and we've been connected for a while, before I started doing lives, I did about let's say 5 to 8 minute videos on a specific topic. Kind of like the first topic, the first part of the show, that would have been a video back then. But oftentimes I'd get caught up in the process. And because this format for me here forces me to, doesn't matter if you make a mistake, doesn't matter if you say the same thing, you say something wrong like that. I would have shot that over until I got it right. So those are the things where it's like getting out of my head in order to do it. It forces me to push through the mistakes, the awkwardness. I've even had lipstick on my teeth. Go back to I can't remember, it was an episode around Christmas where I literally had lipstick on my teeth for 10 minutes and I still had to push through to the end of the episode. But this format here makes me push through. So for you, it's like, what makes sense for you? What can you create that you love creating? For some people, it's a mini post where it's just like a short a short blog post that can go as a post update, right? Where you're just sharing a little tip, sharing a thought, sharing a perspective, sharing some facts, sharing some numbers, whatever it is, as long as it goes back to, are you serving your audience with it? Is it valuable to your audience? Would you stop your thumb to take a look, take a read if it came across your feed? If you wouldn't stop for it, don't share it. But again, finding your content type. What do you love? Do you love the gift of gab? Like I have this one client who is experimenting with podcasting, and when she gets into that editing mode, or sorry, not the editing mode, when she gets into the interview mode, she is on fire and she absolutely loves it. And then what she's doing now is she is also going to pass off the part that is in her way. So we were working together on Saturday. One of the things that she has to do is she has to send the editing to somebody else because she can't do it because that will be her bottleneck. So find your content type and also identify the bottlenecks that will keep you from producing awesome content. So for me, if I want to create more videos, what I need to be doing is working with an editor so that I am no longer my bottleneck. I'll shoot and then it goes off, right? So those are the things that we need to do. And I'm going to jump into the comments right now before I jump into number 5. Team Live for Calvin and Randall. Hey, Calvin, I hope you're doing well. Hi, Randall. And the thing is like, for example, Calvin and Randall, once they got live, they've been creating all kind of content, but they've also been consistent. Randall, you're one of the most consistent guys I know with content. You post more content than anybody else. All right, let's see. And yeah. Oh yeah, and no sound. Yes, I remember that one too, Julie. I pushed through it, and this format here allows me to push through regardless of any blocks. I just gotta get her done. Gotta get her done. And then the fact that you guys are there, that also makes another thing. And then Naomi says it's good to test and measure content and formats. Exactly. How are you supposed to know what you like if you ain't never tried it? Right? And that also means not just one try. Because if I just did one live episode, trust and believe that I wouldn't love it. Because there's so many things. You have to get used to the vibe, the flow, the tech, and vibing and flowing with the tech. You know what I mean? So you got to get used to it. You got to get into your groove when it comes to creating content. Maybe it's writing and you'll find your groove. The first one's never, you got to test things. You got to try it. Maybe it's creating graphics on Canva. Maybe it's creating documents. But again, if you go back to getting out of your head, focus on serving and finding your content type, I'm telling you, you will push past your consistency issues. Up next, this is another valuable tip. If you find your type, right? You find your type, the next thing you need to do is create a template or a system, or for me, it's both. So as you guys can see, this show, it's templated now. I know you guys know the show. First I do the lesson, then I do a scroll stopper, then I do tap that app, 2 Ps, right? But you guys know that. And then I do some Q&A and this little banter here and there. But now that I've been doing it 44 episodes in, I really have my rhythm, right? I know my content type and I also have a template. So all week, as I'm seeing things, I'm thinking, oh, this would be a good topic. I have a system where I save ideas in OneNote, which is one of my favorite places to capture ideas. And I also use OneNote with my clients. And I have this system. So if I come across something, I have a tab that's specifically for awesome scroll stoppers, or I'm always tracking my ideas. And then I even have a system for when this content is done, I put it into OneNote so that I can later on repurpose. When I have an editor that I'm working with, I can repurpose this content. And so I have all the notes in place and ready to go. So when you have a template, it'll allow your brain to flow into things a lot easier. In fact, it will allow you to batch create as well. So I could work on 4 shows at the same time if I wanted to. For this format, I liked me personally because of my content type is it's about the here and the now. I'm always talking about what people in my network are talking about right now, and I'm looking at latest trends, latest posts, latest apps. So but whatever works, you can batch create that content if you have a template. If you're creating a show, if you're creating anything, a blog post series, or even your graphics. Once you have a template in Canva, for example, you're just dragging and dropping. So even when you think about my system, at the top of the show, you always see, or hopefully always see, a thumbnail. I have a template. I adjusted each show, but I have a template that makes it easier so I'm not starting from scratch. And that helps consistency. All right, so let's see what you all have to say. Jumping in here. Naomi says yes to the template. It definitely helps with the consistency. And then going back to your previous points, you got to check things out. And then as you check things out, this show originally started out as an hour-long show. And then a very good friend of mine, Eric, he said, no, half hour, keep them wanting more. So I kind of struggle with that half hour, but that's always the goal. And then I moved it up to 36 minutes because that was more reasonable for me. But that was me again, finding my type and finding my rhythm and my template. All right. And Fernando says, greetings from Los Angeles, California. Laziness drives innovation. Can I get a what, Megan? That is absolutely correct. Because this show, by the way, guys, this used to take me 2 days to produce when I first started. I can get this show up and going. Honestly, I'm thinking about it all week, so that helps me with my system. I'm pulling things, I'm seeing things, I'm always tracking ideas. But when it comes to all my graphics and everything that I'm doing, 3 hours max. 3 hours max. That's what I put in to create this content. So the template, that innovation comes out of laziness is absolutely true. And I absolutely pay for Canva, Linda. It is so worth it, especially now that they've added all the photography, all of the icons, all of the images. They're all free. Well, not free in the paid Canva. And I don't think it's that expensive. I think it's absolutely worth it as a content creation tool. I use it for so much more than just content. I use it for workbooks. I use it for PowerPoint presentations. I use it for this. I definitely think it's worth it. I use it probably daily in my business. That's probably one of my top 10 tools. And Chad says, it's always important to revamp your current content. Absolutely. You want to give it a good look and feel. You want to see what's working, what's not working, and tighten it up. Or maybe you want to add something new. So going back to Naomi's point about trying different contents, and that's something that maybe I should be doing, is just trying other things. But I do know I love this format, and it maintains my consistency, so I keep it going. And yeah, look at all the people, Linda. All these people are saying Canva Pro is worth it. It is so worth it. And Frank says time is money. Ain't that right, honey? I agree. And Carl says, let me see, I still use a free version. Hadn't looked into what the full offers. Honestly, Carl, it's worth it. Check it out. And Megan also uses Canva daily. It's probably the most used program you have. Same. I love Canva, right? And Carlton says remix it. That's what I'm talking about. So you take your content. I talked about that actually. Well, guys, was it like 3 or 4 episodes ago? Remixing that content? Yeah. Anyways, you got to continue to remix. Okay, jumping into tip number 5. Make an appointment. So there's 2 strategies here in this. This is like a double blockbuster here. So make an appointment with your audience. Guys, when do I broadcast? Every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys expect me to show up. Many of you have even told me that you've put a calendar notification in your calendars just because you want to show up for this. So that tells me one thing, you guys are awesome and you're my friends. And two, it also shows me that you see value in showing up for this. So what this does for you is, one, when you make an appointment with your audience, they're expecting your content on a certain date, maybe even on a certain time, like for a live broadcast, for example. I did employ this same strategy when I used to post videos. So these were not live videos, just regular videos. I would say new videos every Thursday. And then and I would say that in every video. So I was training my audience, right? Every video, new videos every Thursday, right? You watch some of my old Just Ask Cher videos, you will see me say that. And what that did is when I didn't post, y'all were sliding into my DM saying, Cher, what's this, a video? It's Thursday. It's Thursday. What's going on? Where's the video? So that accountability is awesome. The next side of appointment is actually creating an appointment in your own calendar where you're going to work on it. So I block out this show time in my calendar. I also block out time to work on the content. So I block out about 4 hours, and I try to be as you come up with your system, your template, you get faster as you're thinking about your content all week, because you know what you're going, you know your flow, you know what you're doing, it makes it faster, but you got to make an appointment with yourself so you get her done. All right. Number 6, here's what I love, because some people have a real tough time thinking of this ongoing commitment to content. It's like, when is it going to end? Some people need a beginning, middle, and end in what they are committing to, and that's okay. So what you might want to commit to is a series. You could do a 6-part series. You could do a 10-part series, a 3-part series where you break apart a specific topic, theme, whatever it is. You can break it down into 6 parts. So what I mean by that is you can contain yourself in a series, right? And then also people know that this is part 4 of the 6-part series, right? Or you can do a season. So you can determine how many episodes are in a season. And then, just like Netflix, they take a break, re-up their energy, shoot new stuff, and come back for a new season. So what you do is you make an appointment with your audience to let them know that season 2 comes out in September, right? So that they're expecting something. They know that consistency is there within the season, and then you take a break, and then you let people know when the next season is coming out. This way, it allows you the opportunity to step back, recharge, and refresh. Or you could just be like me and just go ongoing, and then maybe there might be a week where I can't show up. But so far, because of that accountability with you guys, I do show up. But I really love number 6. So at the end of the day, it really comes to the first thing you need to do is get out of your head when it comes to creating content, because that's really where it starts and stops for many of you, right? And then if you just focus on serving, when you think about how this content will help your target audience, and then you create it for them, you want to give them the gift of what's in your head, what you know. In addition to that, it's really about finding your content type. Finding what will work for you. For me, it's live shows. I absolutely love doing it. But you've got to experiment and figure it out what lights your fire, right? Also, once you've figured that out, it comes down to creating that template, that system that allows you to create it quickly, that is allowing you to gather your thoughts throughout the week so that you're constantly in the creation mode so that you have things together and it gets a lot quicker. Then make an appointment with yourself and with your audience, with yourself so you can get it done in your calendar, and with your audience so they know when to expect it. And that's all about accountability. And finally, give yourself a container to work with, whether it's a series or a season. You know that there's a beginning, middle, and end. And these 6 tips, my friends, these 6 tips will ensure that you are consistent with your content week after week. And ultimately, what does that mean for you? You show up. You show up for your brands. You show up for your audience. Your credibility goes way up. Memorability, because people actually remember who you are because you show up and you feed them on a regular basis with awesome content that they just want to consume. So how you like them apples, my friends? That's what I'm talking about. So let me know what you're thinking. Do I get some likes? Do I get some clapping? Is this your thing? Or perhaps some hearts, or maybe a thought, maybe ideas are popping because of this. Let me know. Show me some emoji love. And let's see. I'm going to now dive into the questions, right? Karen says, love this. Find your sweet spot and it gets easier. Yes, Bonnie, you got that, right? Because you know you've got a video style that you use and it works really well for your product. And number 6 for the win, says Julie. I agree. And, Kemi says, yes, I'm on a break right now and still post text content as quotes. Exactly. Kemi, you got to show up so you stay remembered. And also the algorithm will be the gift that keeps on giving because you show up on a regular basis. And Paul says, appointment for preps are invaluable. Meetings, content, life. Telling you, it's all about making that appointment. And Chris says, that's a great idea. And about the series right now. And I'm loving my Make an Impact series right now. I'm loving it too. In fact, we're going to talk about that in just a second. So Linda says, great tips. You guys are Whitney's. I like. Follow their hashtag. It's important. Absolutely. I agree. I like them apples. Thank you, Dr. Timothy. And show up and glow up. Yes, I love that too. All right. Let's see. The question I get from Frank, how often should you post on LinkedIn? That is the question of the day. So how often should you post? Well, that depends. I'm on the side of less is more, especially when you spend time engaging with your network. LinkedIn will say, hey, they'd love for you to post once a day. And for some people that works. For some people, it's like when they see too much of you in the news feed, they don't stop anymore because they're so used to just seeing you and they keep on scrolling by. So you've got to test that based off of the content you're producing. Is there variety in that content? And I would say aim for 2, possibly 3 times a week. I'm still a once a weeker, maybe twice. Sorry guys, I'm hot. And what else? But where I would say is any content creator, if you are not focusing on engagement as a part of your content creation strategy, you will lose every time. So in addition to posting content and engaging with the content that people come to you with engagement with, you've got to go out in your network and engage in other people's content, and you will see your visibility amplified and accelerated as a result. So I am running out of time, and I don't want to lose steam on my scroll stopper. So we're going to jump into that right now. But in the meantime, guys, I want to remind you, if you're not on my A list, this newsletter, speaking of consistency or lack thereof, it's going to start getting consistent. So jump on if you haven't signed up as of yet, jump on. If you're already on and you're like, where's my email? Don't worry. It hasn't come yet, but it's going to be coming soon. So jump on to that. And of course, let's jump in right now to my scroll stopper. So today's scroll stopper, it's kind of like a double header, but it started with Naomi Garrick, and she is on the show right now. She's in the comments, so make sure you guys connect with her. She's pretty dope, and she's the PR chick. She's a personal branding coach for executives and entrepreneurs. She's a PR consultant, LinkedIn strategist, and she's from Jamaica, and she's an author and awesome speaker as well. Well, anyways, when Naomi saw last week's show, she messaged me this week and said, hey, you with this idea, because I featured a similar post, but she took that post and took it on steroids. So basically what she says is, so I've decided to a PR Chick weekly roundup every Monday that will highlight some of the trending personal branding topics or issues discussed by personal branding professionals that I follow, as well as some of my own insights. I actually was inspired to do this roundup after watching last week's Just Ask Cher. Thanks for the inspiration. Last week, I checked into Just Ask Cher by Cher Jones and Better with Paul Live on LinkedIn with Paul Carrick Brunson. The awesome thing about this week's Better with Paul Live is include 4 personal branding experts. So Nick, Nelson, Marielle Leger, as well as Carla and Bobby Umar. So she's got lots of great insights. And let me just show you what she did. So typically, we're going to take a look at this. That was the post that actually brought you to an in-depth article. So this article, all she did, and she was able to take the intro and that became the post, but look at what she does. She goes right in, she gives you all the information. So last week's example, they just linked to what was happening. And in this one, she goes down, she also does a really good job of giving you her take as well as other experts as well. And this is a great way to leverage other thought leaders. So this is, when you look at this is value-based curation. Okay, so this is going the extra mile. It's awesome. It's way further than I would do, because I just think it's amazing. And I'm so impressed, because I don't think I would have gone this deep, and that's not necessarily a good thing on my end. So Naomi, you rocked this, because you really went above and beyond as far as really doing a great job curating this. So these were the points from last week. Same sort of thing, network specific, theme specific. It's a weekly feature. There's titles and mentions of people. She also, the only one that wasn't there, which is totally fine, is asking people if they have their favorite, and a link in the comments, which that was from, these were all last week's tips, but she just rocked it way better. And then, so great job, Naomi. Love it. And then Julie, she took a different take on the same thing. So she's been doing a roundup called Make an Impact. And what she does is she uses their pictures, and then she does the app mentions, and she talks about why she's celebrating them. So today's Make an Impact Friday, continuing my celebration of people in HR who made me smile and have contributed to shaping me into the HR professional that I am. Who makes you better at what you do? Leave a comment down below. So again, that call to action for your favorites. And then in this edition, what she does, again, all the people that really blessed her this week, and then she took their pictures and she created a graphic, probably using Canva. So guys, this is what I'm talking about. This is an awesome way to take content and other people's content and create your own out of it. So well done, ladies, well done. So this, and then again, you see that appointment strategy? They both made appointments with their audience Mondays and Fridays. You know to expect them. And guess who's coming on Tuesday? That's right. So that's what I'm talking about right there. I think it was awesome. So coming up next, of course, tap that app. 2 Ps. And in this episode, I want to share with you what I think is probably game changing. So if anybody out there is recording or using Audacity as their podcasting recording tool, I found something that just levels up the game and is way better. And they have a free version. And of course, they have an upgraded version. So let's take a look right now. Okay. So this is called Bouncecast, and it allows you to really level up your podcasting game. So it uses intelligent AI, right, to record, enhance, and master podcasts and video and audio automatically on desktop and mobile. Because it uses real-time data, the app is super smart, and it processes your audio, and it gets rid of really interesting sounds. For example, I've done things where I'm just going to come back. You guys can look at me for a second. Where there's been like a little bit of a tinny audio sometimes when I'm recording. Not on this, my audio sounds great, but sometimes when I'm recording into just a video, I don't know what it is. I get this little tinny audio sound, and when I run it through Bouncecast, game changing. And it can help you identify the little clicks, and if you were clicking your mouse or doing things like that, it will help you eliminate that, help you even out your sound, because now the podcasting game is getting kind of serious. Like if you want to stand out, or even your video audio as well, even when if you're out recording and there's some ambient sound that you want to get rid of, this will help you do that, and it does it automatically. Like that word. Anyways, guys, you got to check it out. So, it's really, it's really cheap, aka free. I have the premium plan, but it allows you, and this is why if you're using Audacity, you might just like this a little bit more, because Audacity is free, so is this. And you can import for the free, you can import any pre-recorded audio. It has an audio recorder. It allows you to trim it, and it allows you to export it as different file types. But of course, when you go into their premium plans, that's really when you get to do the automatic leveling, audio restoration, intelligent sound check, interactive guidance. Like it makes editing for the sounds and improving your sound quality a walk in the park. So where you can find this is bouncecast.app. So tap that app, 2 P's. Bouncecast is where it's at. I suggest it. And I'm going to jump in because I ran out of time. I didn't even bother put the timer back. Because, I ran out of time. I got to get this down. I will. I promise. So now what I want to do is I'm just going to look through one more time, make sure that I give you the A's to your Q's. But in the meantime, did you know sharing is caring, guys? And if you have made it to the end of this episode, I'm going to tell you something. That means you found value in it. And then, so let me just jump in, answer some questions for you guys. So Chad is asking me, is Bouncecast still in development, Cher? No, it's a live app. Like you can pay for it. You can buy it. It works. I suggest it. So check it out. And Julie says, yes, I'm looking to up my podcast game. Canva is number 1, repurpose content. That's what I'm talking about. Just looking to see if there's any question. How does it output? So it exports in a lot of different files. Like there's a lot. Let me just check because I saw it on the list there. So I'm going to show you, Pam. So take a look. So WAV file, MP3, AIF, FLAC, OGG, Vorbis, whatever that means. But it exports to multiple formats, especially as you, especially if you pay for the premium pricing. So even at the basic, the free, you get a bunch of different formats. So I would suggest you definitely check it out, Pam, and test it out. I think it's worth it. I would definitely test it out. And Lakeisha says, automatically love that. Great app tip. I'm so glad to hear it. And thank you, Megan. We're all here for you. No timer or not. Love it. And yes, the export is high. It is a high quality, Pam. So Christopher says, what do you think about recording video and audio in case you want to use the video after? Oh, absolutely. And that's why Squadcast is so dope, because I believe it will give you, does it give you the video? I can't remember. I know for sure you get 2 audio tracks, but I know a lot of people, they'll run the record on that as well. Cause yeah, you can use the video. A lot of people will use things like Zoom, right? Cause they can get the video, or things like, why can't I think of it right now? Randall, what's the one you use again? It's all the live streaming. Oh my gosh, the one with the duck. Why can't I think of it? Randall, let me know in the comments. But yes, that's why people use a lot of those live streaming apps because you can get that video. And maybe you could run your audio through it after, because I know with a lot of the live streaming, whether it's Restream or all the other StreamYard, that's it, StreamYard, they'll give you an audio that maybe you could run through this and increase your audio levels. I don't know, haven't tried it, but it's worth the try. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So coming up next, guys, we are going to be what did I have planned? I did have something epic planned, but I can't remember it right now. So I'm gonna have to leave it at that. But no, it's epic. When next week, Tuesday, Easter, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Expect epic. I promise you, no less than epic. Can't wait to see you guys. If you have any questions, and I didn't even check all my peeps watching from Facebook. Hi guys, Twitter, YouTube. You guys rock. I'm going to jump back in after and check the content and the comments. I will get back to you, I promise. But in the meantime, stay tuned for the next episode because I got you. All right. Stay tuned. See you next week. And we're out.